Oh, hello there again. I can see that you have arrived at our next destination before me. Very well, let's take a look at this place. We are currently in the Strathclyde Urban Park in North Lanarkshire this time, and behind me is a Roman bathhouse from 2nd century AD. It was actually discovered in 1973, but it wasn't excavated until 2 years later, and that's because this area was meant to be flooded with an artificial lake. But as you can see, it's dry, and that's because it never actually happened. The lake is right there, and the area was left intact up until 1980, which is when the Friends of the Hamilton Museum suggested that this site, this Roman bathhouse, should be completely extracted from the ground, leveled out, and then reconstructed again so that it can be given access to the public. And clearly it's very easily accessible. I can come and touch it. So as you can imagine, the suggestion was accepted and then executed accordingly. So this bathhouse, just like any other, had underfloor heating, and it would be called hypocaust. So what is meant by this word is that there would be hot air circulating underneath the floor. The floors would be designed especially for that, with spaces underneath, so that it allowed hot air to circulate, and that air would also travel upwards within the walls, resulting in a warm room. So as we all know, bathhouses would have series of rooms, and each room would differ in temperature. And here we have a little sign. So this one would have been a hot room. There would be a cold room, a warm room, a cold plunge pool, a changing room as well, and this bathhouse would have one as well, but it's not here anymore, and it would have been right here. Oh, hello. So yes, cold room. I don't know if you can see, but there's one here. And basically the rooms would be placed in such a sequence that there would be one entrance and one exit, and in the changing rooms the soldiers would leave their stuff except for the footwear, because the floors would get really hot, as the hypocaust system was really effective. So we still don't really know how often and how many soldiers would come into a bathhouse like this, but some people suggest, and I'm getting this information from Canmore, so if you want and go and visit the website, feel free to do so. But on Canmore, someone suggested that there would be about 500 soldiers using the same bathhouse. So personally, I wouldn't probably be able to relax in here, but we know for sure that they were relaxing, because in Bursden there was a similar bathhouse found, and in one of the rooms the excavation revealed a board game. So clearly this was a very important social place. They were playing here, they were chatting, relaxing after a long day of work. And I think that's just really cool that we have it here and we can come and visit. Interestingly, bathhouses had latrines placed nearby. Unfortunately, this particular one doesn't have one, or at least one that I know of. But in Bursden, again, one of the bathhouses did have a latrine nearby. And the reason why is because of Roman ingenious design. So in Bursden, one of the latrines would have had a wooden plank placed over it, and there would be 9 holes in it. So there, at some point, there would be 9 men using the same toilet seat. So that's teamwork. But it was placed near a bathhouse because once the water used in the bathhouse to warm the rooms was used and it needed to be replaced, it was used to flush the latrines. So I think that's a very ecological way to use water in two purposes, and it's just great design. So that's the end of the tour of this particular place. And you might think, but wait, weren't bathhouses like really close to Roman forts? Well, yes, that's true, and this is our next destination, so I'll see you there in a minute.